The Sims series has been used as a vehicle for budding storytellers to realize their scandalous emo romances for decades by now. From tragic, life-altering Sims 3 slideshows uploaded to YouTube in the 2000s, to sitting alone in your room making two girl Sims kiss just out of curiosity, most Sims fans aren't a stranger to creating a narrative for their gameplay. The open-ended, sandbox experience of the series invites you to make up your own tales using environmental cues and your own imagination. The world around you provides the armature, and you're encouraged to sculpt the clay around it. Of course, that's if you're looking at it from an annoying perspective. A lot of people just play the games to kill their Sims in a house fire, which obviously was also used as the plot twist in many Sim drama videos. However, the golden child of the simulation genre as a whole is not entirely innocent from the innate human milestone of crafting OCs either. We all know that the games feature a fair amount of lore. I'm personally very attached to Nervous Subject, but Belagoth's disappearance is a classic for a reason. Those bits and pieces are not what I'm referring to though. I'm talking about the time EA wanted to make a version of The Sims 2 that was playable on shittier laptops and decided to just rewire it into a soap opera. The Sims Life Stories, the first of 3 games in the Sims Stories series, was a low-power port of The Sims 2 that featured 2 linear central plots, each one centering around the romantic escapades of its main character. Instead of forcing you to rely on your own brain to come up with a theatrical scuffle between your Sim and her love triangle of dubious boyfriends, the game featured pre-written scenes with character dialogue and theatrical cuts to immerse you in the lives of Riley Harlow and Vincent Moore. Today, I am going to recount the tumultuous lives of these Sims to you because I have nothing better to do. Let's discuss the enigma that is The Sims Life Stories. The Sims Stories, as a series, was developed with the intention of making The Sims 2 more accessible for players with lower PC specifications. Each of the 3 games that were produced, Life Stories, Pet Stories, and Castaway Stories, ran on what was basically a condensed version of the Sims 2 engine. The interface and general gameplay remained pretty similar between Sims 2 and Stories, with some finer details being left out of the latter. Well, leaving the entire Elder Life stage out of Pet Stories was less of a missing detail and more of a gaping hole, but you know. Our subject for today, Life Stories, officially released in February of 2007, garnering reviews from critics. The game itself featured 2 distinct modes. These were Story Mode, where you could explore Riley and Vincent's stories, obviously, and Classic Mode, which was simply lower-spec Sims 2 free play. Upon launching the game initially, Vincent's story and Classic Mode are both totally locked. This forces you to get about halfway into Riley's story before gaining access to Vincent's, and then finish Vincent's before you can even get your hands on Classic. So, of course, it's only right that we begin our journey today with Riley's story. What are we getting ourselves into, you may ask? Well, luckily there's a short description on the main menu to give you a taste. It reads, Riley Harlow had been living in Sim City all her life until she lost her job. Facing eviction, Riley turned to the one person she could count on, her Aunt Sharon. Sharon had always been kind enough to help Riley out in a pinch, so Riley arranged to stay at her aunt's house in the suburb of Four Corners until she was back on her feet. Yes, I'm aware that the gameplay footage is incredibly blurry, it just looks like that. I'm sorry. Little did Riley know she'd probably be facing eviction again in a year due to the 2008 financial crisis. Pretty short and unassuming intro aside, we dive headfirst into the neighborhood of Four Corners, where Riley gets out of her taxi and greets her Aunt Sharon. The game's story is progressed through completing goals, which sit on your Sims menu at the bottom of the screen. Our first goal is to give Miss Auntie here a hug, which we do, and then we watch her immediately get in the car and fuck off. She says she needs to take care of something urgent at the bank, but that's all the context we're given before she burns rubber. The following few goals we get are basic tutorial steps, such as eating, changing clothes, and editing your appearance. Somehow, our new suburban neighbors are immediately made aware of Riley's presence, and the welcome wagon stops by to chew the fat with her and the ominous lack of Aunt Sharon. The visiting crew consists of Fiona Fortuna, Agora Tchotchke, and most importantly, Mickey Smith, who Riley takes a quick liking to. Not really sure why though, Fiona gave us a coffee maker, I'd be all over that. Agora and Mickey seem to be somewhat close, but we ignore that fully and make it our goal to, tickle him, I guess. Riley needs to build up her relationship with Mickey before that option is unlocked, so we spam interactions a bit and eventually successfully invade his personal space. The rest of the get-together is fairly uneventful, save for my stupid fucking sink breaking, and we close up chapter 1 of 12 with a short blurb. My first day in Four Corners was both exciting and unsettling. First, my crazy aunt decides to get up and go not 5 minutes after I arrive. After freshening up a bit, I met a few of the locals. Fiona is very nice, but come on, an infomercial coffee machine? Why are we ungrateful, is my question. Anyway, at least Mickey is easy on the eyes. I wonder if he's seeing anyone? I don't know what to think about Agora. She's nice, but in a really fake kind of way. Anyway, I had fun and even got a little friendly with Mickey, if you can believe that. It's getting late, so I should turn in. Shouldn't Aunt Sharon be back by now? For the rest of the night, no new goals are given, and your sim is allowed to free range like a low poly chicken. Anyway, our next goal comes in the morning, and that is to get a job, which is a goal a lot of people in America currently have. Thankfully, in the game, we just tippy-tap on the computer. In real life, Oh, I see. Right. Okay, moving on. Our fucking computer broke. After that gets fixed, we receive an email from Aunt Sharon explaining that she simply went on an impromptu trip to see an old friend, as one does. Riley soon gets bored with the house all to herself, and we call up Mickey Smith to come hang out, who arrives with Agora at his side. Mickey explains that she had to tag along and wouldn't take no for an answer. Agora, however, actually brings us a nice houseplant. This too is doomed eerie to me. After a bit of chatting, Riley remarks that the date is going well, save for Agora's presence. Does Mickey know it's a date? Are we sure he's aware? If he doesn't, he's gonna find out, because our next goal, of course, is to hit on Mickey Mouse. Once we up the ante enough to do so, Agora is not pleased, and she gets physical with Riley. In response, we poke her ass until we get the shove option, which causes Agora to skedaddle and Riley to announce that she has a new enemy in Four Corners. That ends chapter 2 with Aunt Sharon still gone and Riley in her undies for some reason. I didn't do that. The blurb for this chapter calls Agora a stupid cow, which is kind of overkill. Riley, she brought you a plant. The following day, after work, we decide to give Fiona from 5 minutes ago, I hope you remember, a call to de-stress. She has hot goss. Dylan Kincaid, our high school sweetheart, moved to this very neighborhood 2 weeks before we did. Much to think about. And by that I mean nothing to think about, because we just slapped a woman over Mickey, right? Speaking of Mickey, we decide to invite him on a date to the Starlight Diner to get our mind off of Dylan, because apparently our mind is on Dylan. This little outing is quite successful, and our two lovebirds have their first kiss. Mickey hands Riley a gorgeous rose, and we head home, pleased as punch with our romantic prospects. In the morning, Dylan decides to reconnect, asking to come over for a little dinner date. Obviously, Riley is with Mickey now, so she wouldn't... Oh... Okay, yeah, old memories. So we bring up our cooking skill before the evening rolls around, and Dylan strolls up without a care in the world, blonde as hell. I have a fear of blonde men, they're nefarious. We do some friendly catching up before Riley decides her life has been going far too well and she needs to kiss this dude from high school. Then, oh, something's bothering her? Wow, maybe two timing is wrong? Despite the apprehension, we continue the date, cooking dinner for Temu Justin Timberlake, bringing us forward to the goal of jumping into his arms. Nice, sick, that's great. Dylan gives us a housewarming gift, and we decide that it's too soon to get serious with this guy, and we need to figure out what's going on with Mickey first. After we kissed him already, multiple times. Diversity win, this woman is a fuckboy too. After a good night's sleep, Mickey invites us to go hang out at the park. He ends up running a little late, and before he arrives, we meet one of Dylan's co-workers, Ashley Sinclair. Apparently he's a banker, and he talks about us and our aunt quite frequently. Mickey shows up soon after with some food to grill, which he asks us to cook because he had a childhood grilling accident. I'm wondering if this is a reference to the Sims 2 OMG What the Fuck barbecue mod where you can cook up newborn babies on the grill. I mean, I think there's a very slight chance that this game is implying that Mickey was grilled as an infant. Anyway, we soon decide that Mickey is the one for us, and to celebrate, we need to tickle him again. Weird pattern here. Thankfully, we're not alone in our affections, though, proven by Mickey asking Riley to get serious. Yippee! We seal the girlfriend-boyfriend thing with a highly erotic makeout sesh, Mickey gives us a painting, and then we head home. This wraps up the incomparable Chapter 5. In the morning, we get the bright idea to invite our brand new guy on a cute little gym date where we romantically run on a treadmill together for 20 minutes before retiring to the hot tub. Surely nothing can go wrong in the hot tub. Wait, is that the bed we made? You're telling me we have to lie in it now. Dylan walks up to conveniently remind Riley of their dinner date last night, which Mickey is not all that pleased about. The two men get into a physical fight, homoerotically, ending with Mickey feeling rightfully betrayed and calling Riley a hussy. The good news is we still have our side bitch who says we don't need Mickey. No, our aunt said he's no good. What an odd thing for him to say. Devastated that our actions do in fact have consequences, we head home, ending Chapter 6 with a broken whimper. In the morning, wait, no, never mind, Dylan broke into our house and is laying on the bed. Alright, sure, Riley's fine with it, I guess. In her own words describing the situation, she says, I just got out of a relationship, but Dylan says he's here for me, and that's what I need right now. I can't help that I'm charming. You were barely in a relationship. Whatever, Dylan says that he meant what he said at the gym, that he hasn't gone a day since high school without thinking of Riley, which is 100% normal. He continues to wax poetic about her after, again, breaking into her home, which makes us need to give him a tender kiss. He replies to this by bringing up that Riley is her aunt's favorite niece. We're a little weirded out by that, but not enough to stop us from making out with him. Ted Bundy is salivating right now. Oh, look, Dylan bought us an antique rug. Great, sure. But wait, he's received a call from ... work. He must flee this wretched cottage at once. Chapter 7 squeals to a halt, with Riley remarking in the ending blurb that Dylan has, quote, hurt her before. My fucking shower broke. We wake up to a call from Fiona from 15 minutes ago now, I hope you remember, who lets us know that Mickey and Agora are getting married, a day after Riley and Mickey broke up. To get our mind off this, we call up Dylan and ask to go shopping. He immediately hangs up though, saying he has to go to work. We decide to head to the boutique to try on some 2007 chic before we notice Dylan out and about with Ashley Sinclair, his co-worker. What? The guy who was okay with getting with someone who cheated is also a cheater? Whoa. Blonde person dating blonde person too. Freaky shit, don't like that. This pisses us off since cheating is apparently a problem now and we shuffle over to attack him. It took 5 minutes for the action to occur because he wouldn't get off the swing set. Dylan then threatens our and our whining aunts' lives, saying we're going to get it. Riley immediately gets a desire to see Dylan's ghost even though he isn't dead yet. A lot happening here. Blondie 1 dropped 2,000 simoleons though, so at least we got a shopping spree out of it. Oh, and Agora and Mickey are here too, so it's time to pack it up and head home. You know what we should do next? I'll give you a hint, it isn't take time to reflect. No. Riley decides that she must get Mickey back. How does she plan to do this? Invite him over for days on end until he's cool with us again, of course. This kicks off a quest to raise Mickey's friendship level, which takes a genuinely excruciating amount of time in game, but you do eventually break him down. My shower broke again. After we put in the effort to reconcile, Mickey says he can't break his promise to Agora and storms off after giving us a teddy bear to remember him by. Riley is heartbroken and destitute after the loss of her engaged man, but even so, the rest of the day goes by without a hitch. Good news though, Eminem is out front kicking our trash cans over. He's raving about how Riley and her aunt cost him everything, shouting at them to come outside. Of course, Sharon's not here still. Wait, no, here she comes in a cop car. She proudly accuses Dylan of kidnapping her, and he's immediately tackled to the ground by a police officer. Aunt Sharon tells us that Dylan tricked her into taking out a huge life insurance policy and then stuck her in the basement for safekeeping. He's quickly cuffed and taken away for his devious crimes, with the cop warning us that he wasn't the only ne'er-do-well in four corners Corners. Reconnecting with Aunt Sharon reveals that Dylan tried to get her to make him a beneficiary without success, making him set his sights on Riley to compensate. If all went well, he'd murk them both and take Aunt Sharon's money as his trophy. He wrote Aunt Sharon's little email, obviously, but Miss Thing escaped using her army training that she apparently has and put the cops on Dylan's tail. A true American hero. But that's not all. No, he was apparently conspiring with an ugly-ish woman who wanted to get back at Riley. That's right, Agora is also involved with this mess, even though she looks normal. Like, that's not really an ugly sim. Whatever. Anyway, we have to warn our one true love of his two-faced fiancé before it's too late, so we give Fiona a call. She gives us the wedding deets, and we speed down the highway to Old Grove Park to crash the wedding and banish evil once and for all. We tell Mickey every last disturbing detail, and he recounts the entire story back just in case we forgot, and Agora has a public crash out. She says it was all for him, that she wanted to share the riches with her new handsome husband. Mickey doesn't buy it though, and pushes her aside for the last time. Agora and Riley have a smackdown that doesn't pass the Bechdel test, and the cops make their second appearance to drag the former off to the clink. Due to the cut of our jib, unbridled moxie, and a certain je ne sais quoi, this is enough to erase any memories of the whole cheating thing, and Mickey begs for forgiveness. This is then followed by a proposal. We say yes, and then immediately elope right there in the park. Everybody in this town needs help. Oh my god. All is now well in Four Corners, and our newlyweds go on a honeymoon, which apparently was just like planned in advance, and head home to Riley's aunt's house, which is her house now actually. Sharon gave us the keys, in addition to a bed called the Fertilinator. Our next goal is in fact getting knocked up. The cinematic that plays for this is actually insane. This is sloppy style. I mean, dude, look at him, he's pregnant. After we get the bun in the oven, we decorate the baby's future room with Mickey's 40,000 simoleons that we gained after marrying his ass, and then host a celebratory party baby shower thing a few days later. Now, this is the point in the game where my personal save file just completely corrupted. In the final hour of the game, it totally broke. So, shout out to KPOPP's playthrough for helping me out here. At the baby shower, we entertain our guests for a bit before Riley's egg cracks. No, not in that way, and she gives birth at home in front of everyone. That, my friend, marks the end of Riley's story. You can continue playing the same file as normal after the plot has concluded, but the story itself wraps up here. Wow, what the hell, sure. What about Vincent's story, you may ask? Well, it's very similar, to be honest with you. Instead of being broke and down on his luck, Vincent is a millionaire tech mogul who just broke up with his clingy girlfriend after she proposed to him 3 weeks into their relationship, which is actually a really long time if you're Riley. The story follows his attempts at finding love, each one sabotaged by his crazy ex-lover, as he navigates gold diggers and tries to win back the girl he truly wants, a barista named Naomi. Naomi is Mickey in this situation, the crazy ex-girlfriend is Dylan, you see how it goes. I'm not going to go through the entire story since it follows what's basically the exact same arc as the last one, except when Vincent is accused of cheating, he didn't actually do it, so that's better. There's a shotgun wedding attempt and everything. It isn't identical, there are some variables, but ultimately I think the most important part to mention here for the drama of it all is that when Vincent finally does bag his dream girl, one of the satellites from his tech company just falls on her head and kills her. Just straight up takes her out. Bye, Naomi. Vincent is then forced to make a deal with the Grim Reaper where he exchanges his worldly wealth for Naomi's life and brings her back to the mortal plane. So, that's story mode. You don't really get any freedom to influence the story at all. I think playing a lot of Choices Matter visual novels has spoiled me because it felt like I was entirely uninvolved in the plot itself. Some people might prefer that though, and I think this game is a great title for those who want more structure in their narratives than The Sims itself would normally provide. Due to the fact that the game was optimized for lower end PCs of the time, the graphics are really something, and the dialogue sequences definitely leave a bit to be desired. In my very personal opinion, I think a meticulously plotted version of The Sims is kind of a waste. The randomness and possibility of the original Sims games are what personally drew me to the series. They give you just enough material to build your world and leave the rest to your imagination. Some players might find this less daunting though, and I understand the desire for a laid out path to be available. I'm curious what you think about this, let me know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this silly video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much to all of my members. I appreciate you so much. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Stay safe, stay wonderful, my friends, and goodbye.